Health Minister Joe Phaahla is expected to visit the Mokopane Hospital in Limpopo today to assess the progress in identifying the bus crash victims. And that's where we find Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala. Nqobile, good morning to you. Heartening news that little Lauren, the 8-year-old who was the sole survivor in that bus crash, is making good progress. Listening to the High Commissioner a little bit earlier on this morning saying, due to the significant trauma that she had undergone, a lot of the details around the crash itself, she's not really talking about with her family. We understand her mom and her dad are with her as well. What's the latest on the potential for her to be released?
Well, we do know, Iman, that they're watching her quite closely. You will remember that she went for a surgery, which we understand that she was hurt a lot on her left side. So this is the process that they need to make sure that by the time they release her, that she is in a great condition. We also know that there's a lot of psychosocial support that's been provided to the family, especially also watching her because of the fact that she hasn't been able, of course, to talk too much about the crash, which we understand that the one thing she asked the most for was that she wanted to know where her mother was, which is why then the Botswana delegates decided to then pay for the mother to be brought into South Africa and bring her in so that she's able to give her the support that is currently she's providing. But at the same time, we understand that the mother's going through quite a lot, as we know that the granny is in fact her mother that had passed away. So that process in itself, as you know, that the DNA is going to take quite a while to ensure that everyone is identified, is still undergoing. So I want to bring in now the Department of Health to speak to us. The spokesperson is currently here. And of course we know that the Minister is going to be joining to sort of get updates in terms of that DNA. But if you could just give us what you have so far. Is the process underway? Are you winning with the DNA process?
Good morning to you and good morning to your viewers at home. Let me start by expressing my deepest condolences to the families who are affected by this tragic accident. But we can confirm that, as we've indicated, the Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Phaahla, accompanied by the MEC of Health, Dr. Matuba, will visit this particular hospital today just to monitor the progress made with regards to identification and the repatriation of the human remains of all those who have passed on during that tragic accident, but also to check the state of this survivor who's currently been still in this particular facility, but also the parents of this facility, so that where there are some bottlenecks, we'll be able to attend to those bottlenecks to ensure that the process of identification, especially for those who have been banned beyond cognition, are fast-tracked without any delay, without putting more pressure, stress to the families.
And I mean, like you say, that there is a process where they're trying to ensure that this DNA it's done quickly. But how long does it usually take in a situation like this?
In this case, remember, there are only few bodies who could not be identified through the normal process of identification through our naked eyes, where we need the process of DNA. So we are working closely with our counterparts in Botswana to collect the DNA of family members in Botswana, so that we match the DNA with the human remains that we managed to collect from the scene, so that we're able to match and also to ensure that indeed we are handing over the right human remains to the right families, to avoid confusing things. We can imagine if we ended up just handing the wrong human remains to the wrong family. So that is going to continue to put more psychological pressure to the family. So we are working around the clock, working with all the relevant stakeholders, the police, social workers and other state organs, to ensure that we are trying by all means to fast track this process of identification and matching the DNAs of both the living family members and the human remains without any delay.
And can we then expect the Minister of Health to interact with the young one and the mother, or has he been in contact with them already?
No, definitely, he has never been in contact with them physically. He's here for the first time because he had other commitments during the course of his holidays. But as we know that as the Department of Health nationally, we work closely with the provincial counterparts. Minister has been getting the feedback, the reports from the MEC of Health, Dr. Popira Matuba, who has been hands-on on this case. So today is going to find time to interact with the child, the survivor, and also the parents of this child in order to support, to show the moral support to this family, but also the families, other families who are affected by this accident.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. That is Phaahla Mohali, who is the spokesperson for National Health, Iman. But just highlighting the process that's going to take place, of course, once the minister has arrived, which we understand is going to be with the MEC of Health in the province, as well as the mayor in the area. So that process then will take place where they'll be interacting with the child and also speaking to the families that have lost their loved ones.
Nqobile, we'll stay close to that story. Thank you very much. It is such a grim task that the health officials have to undertake in identifying those human remains, but it's a sacred task as well.